Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. The idea of being classified or having the label expert. You know, that used to mean that you were a legitimate expert in a specific field and you had a track record of incredible achievement and success. But nowadays, the term has been politicized. You're an expert as long as you disseminate the information that we want you to, and we'll just give you the label. I mean, here's a great example. You guys know this guy. CNBC's Jim Cramer. I mean, how many times can you be so totally wrong and still be considered an expert and finance TV personality? Well, this is the same thing that I'm seeing with the Biden White House. Somehow, Joe Biden, this guy,
we're going to seize their yachts, their luxury homes, and other ill-begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy and the guys who are the kleptocracies.
is an expert in foreign policy, and somehow this person, Janet Yellen, is an expert when it comes to fiscal policy and economics. But how can Janet Yellen be so wrong pretty much all of the time? We just can't take these people seriously anymore. You're not an expert because you're a Democrat and you happen to work in a field. You're not an expert because the media promotes you as such, yet you have a track record of being wrong on all of your predictions and all of your analysis. You're a hack. And Joe Biden's Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, definitely fits that description. She seems to be doing a failure tour recently, going all over the place, all over the media, and all you ever hear from Janet Yellen is, I was wrong. I was wrong. Don't you think at this point, Janet Yellen, since you were so wrong about literally everything, and you gave the American people totally misguided and naive confidence that things were gonna go well, don't you think it's time to resign? Same thing with Jay Powell. These people are completely in over their heads. They have absolutely no idea what they're doing. And let's just go over some of the incompetence coming out of this administration and their expert policy and analysis. In other words, let's cover all of the lies and all of the nonsense. We've got some stuff to get into, but of course, before we get into any of it, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. And with that out of the way, let's roll the tape. All right, folks, I present to you monetary expert, Secretary of the Treasury, and former Fed chair, expert economist, Janet Yellen.
I think I was wrong then about the path that inflation would take. As I mentioned, there have been unanticipated and large shocks to the economy that have boosted energy and food prices and supply bottlenecks that have affected our economy badly, that I at the time didn't fully understand.
Oh well, expert Janet Yellen, well, she just didn't fully understand. And now I could say a whole lot here, but I really only have to make one point. Why is it that the monetary expert and top economist of the Biden administration can be so wrong and so off, but random people on Twitter with ridiculous names posting anime NPC memes, random internet degenerates like this guy, one of the first comments, stop lying, all you're going to do is make the printer go brr, posting this meme back on the 31st of December 2020, then retweeting himself and writing, no one could have possibly predicted money printer go brr will cause inflation. Oh wait, every single Bitcoiner did. Why is it that random internet degenerates, and I'm not saying that as a bad thing, I'm one of them, people posting dumb memes seem to be more credible, serious economists than Janet Yellen? And yes, that's it. That's the inspiration for this video. This random, ridiculously marketed Twitter user who posts everything in all capital letters and posts anime memes about money printer go brr is more of a reliable source on economic conditions than Janet Yellen. Yet she's the expert and she's the person who's in charge of monetary policy and navigating Americans through this financial crisis. It's absurd. And it doesn't get better the higher you go when it comes to the hierarchy structure. The guy who's at the top is obviously President Joe Biden. And just take a look at this absolutely incompetent tweet. I mean, this is one of the dumbest things that I've ever heard. I mean, we know it's not Joe Biden who tweeted this, it's obviously his staff, but I mean, what? President Biden writes, my plan to tackle inflation is simple. Let the Fed do its job. Lower everyday costs for Americans. Keep reducing the deficit. By taking these steps and with Congress taking action, we can build a sustainable recovery that benefits all Americans. I mean, what did this guy even just say? Like, what does that mean? That literally means nothing. Let the Fed do its job. They've been doing their job, and now even Jay Powell is admitting that there's basically nothing he could do to stop inflation. Then he writes, lowering everyday costs for Americans. Well, we're gonna fix inflation by lowering costs. How? We're gonna tackle inflation by tackling inflation. You're not saying anything, and then keep reducing the deficit. This is an atrocious statement. I mean, so dishonest, so dumb. We covered this last week that Joe Biden's new talking point is that he lowered the deficit by $1.5 trillion, but what it really means is he's just spending $1.5 trillion less than was spent last year during the height of the pandemic. But what it really means is that the government in 2021 spent $1.5 trillion less than they did in 2020 during the forced recession and all of the job loss. Yeah, no S, Sherlock. And he's talking about reducing the deficit when he's pushing for massive trillion-dollar spending packages. The only reason he's reducing the deficit or spending slightly less than the most expensive year in government history is because he's being blocked by his own party, Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. You can't get this dishonest. Same garbage that we saw on gas prices. We all remember energy expert, Joe Biden's energy secretary. I think her name is Jennifer Granholm. I forget her name anyways. It's probably Jennifer Granholm. What she's been saying over the last year and a half.
Could the average gas price in America be $4 a gallon in the United States soon?
Well, we certainly hope not. As I say, the Energy Information Agency is going to put out their forecast this week. The president is all over this, of course.
Secretary Granholm, thanks so much for joining us. So what sort of tangible impact, tangible savings can Americans expect to see at the gas pumps from this move by President Biden?
It will be throughout December, and then the releases will occur into January. So it'll be over the course of the next period of time, couple of months, that it will be phased in.
Joe Biden's doing exactly what he's got to do to lower gas prices. We're going to see a reduction in gas prices as strategic oil reserves are released over time, even though it's such a negligible amount. And now President Biden finally admits, as CNN Politics just reported, President Biden says there's nothing he can do to bring down gas or food prices in the near term. Shuanhead responds, very inspiring, thanks. In some cities, gas costs more than the federal minimum wage as inflation harms most working Americans, and Joe Biden's response, oh, nothing I can do, folks. Well, a Joe Biden aide running his Twitter account says, don't worry, folks, we're going to tackle inflation by tackling inflation. These are the experts leading you through a crisis. They turn everything political, they do nothing but lie, and that's why the more time goes on, the dumber they look, and everything they said in the past just doesn't age well. Let's go back to December 2nd, 2021. You guys remember this tweet from the DCCC, right? U.S. regular all-formation gas prices. This is after Joe Biden released the strategic reserve. They were celebrating this reduction in gas prices since Joe Biden's bold action. They released this chart which shows a reduction in gas prices of 0.02.
Wow.
Well, this didn't exactly age well. Gas prices have hit record highs, but don't expect Biden to lower them. They already used their biggest bullet. Once again, Democrats celebrating way too early. If we go back in time and we take the DCCC's graph, well, it should look basically something like this these days.
To infinity and beyond!
As the national average is headed to $5 a gallon. Great job, Joe. You are absolutely killing it. Ridiculous. Speaking of things that aren't aging well, we all remember the reports. Biden sets first-year record with 6.6 million jobs added. Even PolitiFact came in, giving this statement a mostly true rating. He accurately cited the raw numbers of jobs created, and the fact that it was bigger than any previous year for which data is available. Complete bogus. Created jobs, people just going back to work. But in true Biden fashion, the structure he built is made out of paper, and the whole thing's crumbling down. ADP employment report signals weakest job market since pandemic collapse. Everything this administration and their experts predicted has been wrong, and everything they've celebrated as massive victories, it's all been totally bogus. It's been propaganda, lies, and just a little bit of time added to the equation shows you what you're really getting and what you're really working with. You're working with a bunch of incompetent fools, incompetent career-long bureaucrats masquerading as experts. That's what I got for you guys, though. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share it as much as possible. I'm gonna get back to work. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.